want to know how I did that? Well, that's what's going to happen today. Today is Friday the 24th. I've kind of already started a little bit on taking off the vinyl, but I'm going to take you through the process day by day. I'm going to vlog this whole setup. Instead of doing the wrap in one video, which I will put together for you later on, and then doing the suspension in another video and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to take you along with the ride each day, my thought processes and what I'm doing to this car to make this the off-road Model Y. Still toying with ideas what we should name the car. The name is Bobby because it's my other car was Bob and this is has a Model Y, so it's Bobby. But we should change the name, don't you think? It's not really an off-road vehicle. I'm going for an overlanding vehicle, so it's an overland, so over and a Y. Ovary? No, I don't like that. That's a bad one. What do you think we should name this? Off-roady? Brody? Oh, Brody. What's up, Brody? Anyway, help me out with the name. Today we're starting. The car, I need to wash the car. I need to let it dry before we put the wrap on it. The wrap is sitting right up here, making it easy to pull down, cut off what I need to do. So I need to wash the car, get everything off of it, put the stickers where I want them underneath the vinyl, but I gotta let all the corners dry, like right here. All that water has to be dried out ahead of time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wash the car, clay bar the car, put it up on jack stands, then we're gonna take off the stock wheels, put the other wheels on, which I have right over here. Here's one of them. I do have some other wheels coming. The wheels are not finished yet, and I have some tires I gotta make sure fit after I fit these on here. So I'm clay barring the car, getting off all the little stuff, and I'll go back over it with alcohol to get all the little stuff off. But now I need to remove this vinyl piece here. A lot of people really like this. I really like it, so I'm actually making one different for my wife's car, the Model X, which it's got to be wider here because it has to have both of the door handles in there. But I'm gonna remove this and then continue clay bar on the rest of the car. So the reason we do this step is this clay bar with some water and soap, that's all I have in here, Dawn dish soap and water. This is going to pull out some of the embedded stuff inside your paint and also the paint protection. So this is going to get rid of all that rough feeling, and everything is going to be completely smooth. You want to do this before you wax the car, before you paint protect it, before you do anything really. And it was really good. It's really good for your windshield to get all those dried bug guts up, even though this is the back. You still use it back here. It really gets away all that stuff so you don't have to scrub or anything like that. Really works wonders. I'll have a link down below for this, but it's really just gonna get all that junk off and make a smoother finish. Even though my stuff is textured, I'm still doing this so I get a better connection. Whew, it's hot in here. I do have an air conditioner. Oh, there it is. I do have an air conditioner running, but I can't do that while I'm recording, so I'll make this brief. I clay barred the car. Normally you would wash the car first, but I just picked up this car back from Tesla. They were working on the trunk for a few days, and they getting that thing aligned. They washed it for me before I picked it up, so I already knew it was clean. I just got done clay barring it, and now I'm just gonna let it dry. I'm gonna let everything dry a bit, and I'm gonna work on the suspension now. Once I know that's completely dry, then I'm gonna go and take take some rubbing alcohol, probably 70%, and go over the whole car with it. I'll wipe everything down, get in the door jambs, get everywhere on the car so it's completely dry after I do the suspension. I'll do that later tonight. So then I can start wrapping the vinyl on there. But right now, we're going to work on the suspension. Again, I do have, right now I set the stock suspension on there. I'm gonna measure a couple places to see what the ride height is on the stock suspension. And then I'm gonna put the suspension on, or actually what I'll do is, what you're probably curious about is what the tires look like on the vehicle. I'm gonna take a measurement of what the stock height is and everything on a performance Model Y with the 21-inch wheels. We're gonna measure all those things. Then I'll take the bigger wheels, the new wheels and tires, put them on there and measure what the height difference is on there. I'll take those wheels off, then we'll do the suspension lift and then put the new wheels and tires on there and give a total of how much we lifted this thing up and how much ground clearance is on my off-road ovary. Wait, no, please come up with a better idea for the name. All right, you're gonna have to deal with it. I'm leaving the air conditioning on for this segment, but I'm gonna start measuring things from the ground to the bottom of the fender. Now these tires are pumped up to 44 pounds, 29 and 5/8, so just over 29 and a half inches from the floor to the ground, from the floor to the fender. And what you want to normally, this is how you normally measure. You measure from the hub because you can have a little play in the tire down there. sorry for my bald head, but 16 3/8 from the center of the hub to the bottom of the fender. So that's that part. Now let's check out the back. From the ground, it's 30 inches exactly. So I wonder if this is gonna be 15. 16 3/8. So that's, well, that's the gap right there. So 16 3/8, front and back, that's the same from the hub to the fender. So it's a pretty level car. In the center of the car, looks like we are at 5 3/4. That's from the ground clearance to the centerpiece here. So that's not really good for off-roading. So we're gonna have to definitely lift this up a little bit before we can get over some rocks, or overlanding, I should say. We're not gonna rock crawl on this. Talk about aggressive looking. These are open country, all-terrain Toyo tires, AT3s. And I have the knobbier side out where there's a more subdued side. These are on TSW wheels that I got from EV Tuning. These are the ones I had on my Model 3. They're 19-inch wheels. And this tire is a 255/55/19. This is taller than the Model Y standard size. So we are going from a 28.5-inch tire to a 30.5-inch tire. So we've gained 2 inches. Actually, this is a little bit more. Almost a 31-inch tire. Actually, I think this is a 31. I'll have the number right here. I've been looking at so many different tires, and I have another set coming, which is more for off-road use, but quite a bit larger tire. So let's see what the ground clearance is now. It should only be like an inch taller, but we'll see. And we'll see what the difference is from here to here. This should be the same because this hasn't changed anything except for being lifted in the air. So that kind of uncompresses the suspension, which, you know what, I'm gonna jump on the car a little bit, open up a door, kind of bounce a little bit to settle the suspension a little bit. So we have a more accurate reading. But look how aggressive this looks. Meaty tires. Trusty tape measure. Again, let's go from the ground, and now we are at 30 3/4 of an inch. What were we before? We were at 30. So we've only gone up 3/4 of an inch here. 16 3/4. So that's a little bit higher, probably because of the suspension. I didn't jump on it. I didn't feel like jumping on it. The difference really is in the tire. That's all we changed, really. So there's not gonna be much difference here. So there's probably not gonna be much difference here, but let's check. Same spot underneath the driver's door. 6 5/8, so that's a pretty good jump here. That's a pretty good increase so far with just changing the tires out. Now we're gonna lift the car 1.5 inches. I'm sorry, almost 2 inches. So we're gonna add 2 inches to that. So we should be close to 9 inches of ground clearance by the time we're all said and done. You really need to have something over 8 inches.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
To be doing any overlanding before you really scrape a whole bunch. And I think this is gonna be perfect. So the wife came out, Karen came out, and she's cleaning her car. She's done now. She's actually going to get packed up and everything. So what I did while she was doing that, I lifted the car up. Still have the wheels on there. I used the jack stands that I got from Teslarati, the safe jack stands. It's the only way to lift the car fully and be safe about it, because there's only 4 jacking points on the car, and you're using those with one of the jacks. And then I took the wheels off on this side, and I'm gonna do the passenger side first. There's a lot more to do in the front than there is in the rear, but while I was doing that, I ended up putting some of the stickers on that I'm laying out some of the stickers that are gonna go underneath the vinyl to kind of emboss the logos. I have Tesla on both sides, on both fenders, basically just going straight off of the hood here, and you won't see the red, it'll just be the green. And then I have my logo that's going to go directly in the middle. I'm going to tape down one side, pull over, cut the piece, and lay out one side so it's perfectly center. Haven't really decided what I'm going to do here. I have the logo. I have it black. I probably will put it back on here just because you're going to see the dimples, but I'm going to play with this in the back here. That sounded weird. Back here I have a Tesla logo that I'm going to put on here and then have the green go over top of it. And I want to see if with that vinyl and then the vinyl over top with the textured finish, Is it going to be shown? If so, if it is, then I'll just put the logo on there. I'll put a Tesla logo over there. I have the one, I haven't painted it yet. It's still chrome, but I can paint that and then put that on there. But I'm not sure if I like the black. I have something else planned that you guys don't know about yet that probably hasn't shown up yet in the videos. It may have. I don't know. I'm filming this in the past from what you've already seen in the future. It's really trippy for me to try to figure out what I've done and what I haven't done yet. But you'll understand it if you watch all the series. So watch the series. I'm going to have all these labeled day one, day two. It's going to be a vlog setup as how my day goes with everything. I'll show you the problems that I have. I'll show you the wins that I have. All right, so new plan. I stopped for dinner. I went to Chipotle and got a burrito bowl and was only planning on eating half of it or a third of it, but I kept eating it because I was watching Kyle's second or third video on his trip, Kyle from Out of Spec Motoring. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. I got 30 minutes into it and I was just eating way too much. Before I stopped for dinner, I got some of the suspension undone. I have the coil over here. Basically what this does is the spacer that goes on top of here, which gives us a body lift, if you will. I'm gonna hold off doing that because I got a full belly and I don't feel like bending down for that. So I'm gonna start wrapping the hood. You see the logo up here. I ended up putting some stuff on earlier, and I also did some different eyelids. Since you want to kind of double up things, I took a piece of black vinyl and put underneath it, and then put the green on top of it. So I'm going to take some alcohol, wipe down all the edges, get some of the glue off from all the other vinyl that was on there, and then I'm going to wrap the hood, maybe the fenders, see about some doors, see how far I get tonight with wrapping the car, and maybe I'll talk you through some of it. I'll put a GoPro on my head, and we want to make sure everything is going the right way. So if you look at the material, let me pull some down. On the back of the material, there's some letter. Avery Dennison is the company who sponsored the vinyl for this project. So we want to have all this facing up, same direction anyway. So we're going to have the material going the same way, vertical all the way around the car. This is kind of a directional film. This is the top of the car. And the 60 inches, which is more than enough height-wise. Now we just need to measure out the width. The width is going to be, with a little bit of play, 62 inches. So we want to cut off 62 inches tall. So I'm going to lower this down, and I made this little bracket up here. I just had some leftover cutting board material, and I just had this hanging. So we can use one of these, cut across, put it on the car, and it makes it so much easier. So, all right. And as you can see, we have plenty of material. And then we're gonna cut some extra material off of here, and I'll show you where and why. We're gonna cut along the top here. I'm gonna cut some of this out. I can use this for some pieces, but also look what it does there. It bunches up a little bit. And then also down here, the hood stops about here, so we don't need all this. So I'm going to be cutting it. And save all these pieces. Obviously don't throw them away. You can use them for little pieces. Should have done that for the headlights already. But you see this lays a little bit better. We can reposition this. And that's something you can do if you have magnets. It's easier to reposition with the magnets. And now we're just going to cut the bottom half. You do want some extra so you can pull. You don't want to be short, and you don't want your fingertips to be gouging into anything. So just going to, too much, I guess. But so you want to really know where the line is at all points. Right. And again, this isn't perfect. We're not going for perfection here. We're just setting this in place, and then we're going to pull the backing material off. Let's start with this side with the backing material. This is actually pretty cool. All you have to do is pull some back, and this doesn't really tack really strongly until you push on it. So I'm going to push right there, and it's pretty much solid there. And then I'm going to reach up and pull the material backing off, trying to do it as evenly as possible. So we don't get a bunch of wrinkles, but if we do, so since that side's tacked, I'm gonna come over here and pull up this side. You see how it's nice and loose still. And tack it over here on the fender because I'm not touching there yet. I'm going to pull down. I'm pulling down towards me and out at the same time, and it pretty much glosses out to the middle here. I don't want to touch here because then it's going to stick a little bit, but I want to basically gloss out everything before I squeegee anything. And I'm not pulling really hard. I don't want to stretch the material a lot, but I'm just making sure I have no wrinkles anywhere. And then I can reposition this to, again, make sure there's no wrinkles. And just a matter of making it easier to squeegee. That's all we're doing here. Lift up here, kind of spread out, at the same time pulling back. And look at that. That's pretty much set. Now I just got to take the squeegee it out, heat up where the logo is, and the logo will pop. And I'm going to show you that in a high-speed time lapse with the air conditioning on. And we're just going to heat the material up, and then I'm going to press down in the corners, and it should pop a little bit more. It's going to be a little hard to see with the lights, but I think outside this is going to do some, it's going to pop a little bit, and we're going to go over this again. Now, you saw me with the heat on this. You do have to heat up vinyl even after you put it down. Even though I've pushed this down, there's a pressure sensitive glue there, but there also is memory involved. So we do have to heat this up to like 100 and some, I forget what this material takes. This is a little different material than most because it does have scratch resistant properties, which is great for what we're doing. But we do have to heat this up. Once I cut everything and do the corners here, I have to stretch this and wrap this corner, and we trim everything. We heat everything back up again to really make the memory form to what this hood is now. And we're going to have the side of the knife run alongside of the fender. Not on the hood, but on the fender, so we can wrap the rest of the material in. And then we're going to use our finger as a guide and the fender as a guide, not cutting any metal. We're not resting. The metal of the blade is resting on the fender, but it's not, the sharp point of the blade is not on there. And we got to be careful from where the bumper starts. And we're just going to go slow enough, your comfortable level, and put the knife away, and then we can pull back the material. We're going to do the same thing with the knife, but now we're going to be touching the hood. But we're going to start wherever you're comfortable. We're going to start, and we're going to ride along the back side of the hood. Again, the top of the blade touching, the sharp part of the blade is not touching. And a little bit more awkward because it's backwards. But my finger is gliding on the hood as well. This just takes a little bit of practice. Take your time with it. Now we're just going to heat up the corners, roll everything over. I'm going to pop the hood to do that. We're going to heat up everything again and make sure it sticks, so the memory is all about the I1 Tesla vinyl. So, hope you like that. That was the back driver's side door, the rear door. I hope you enjoyed that. There's a lot more to do. So I've gotten basically this whole side. I just have that little quarter panel back there to do, and then I'll do the other side tomorrow. It is 11 o'clock right now. I'm going to take a shower, go to bed, wake up early. So that concludes the first day of this build. There's a lot more to come. Of course, the wrap, the suspension, setting this thing on the ground, seeing where it rubs, see where it doesn't rub, and then fixing those things. Plus, I have a whole roof rack that I haven't shown you yet with lights and everything, and there's some other goodies that are coming as well. Stuff that'll go in the frunk, stuff that'll control everything. It's really high tech. Let's get out there and learn how to do this safely and learn what we need to do. Get some companies behind us so when the Cybertruck shows up, we can just head out there and do it. You know, who knows, by then, maybe I'll buy some land and we'll have our own little trails and everything, and people can come learn how to do it. Maybe you guys can get behind this movement and learn more about off-road mode and things like that. But as always, I'm tired. Stay awesome, stay positive, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you tomorrow. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, because this is going to be, this vlog series on this car is just going to be keep going until it's done. And you've already seen the final product, but it's going to be exciting. Hope you enjoy this stuff. Good night.